year came to an end, you couldn't help but feel a twinge of sadness. You had grown to love your job as a high school biology teacher, and your students had become like family to you. Meanwhile, across town, Billionaire CEO Park Jimin had been going through his own set of emotions. He had just come out of a disastrous meeting with his board of directors when he found himself drawn to the small town where you lived. Something about the simplicity and warmth of the place called him, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more waiting for him there. As fate would have it, Jimin's car broke down on the outskirts of town. Just as you were leaving school, you saw him struggling with his car and offered to help. Little did you know that this chance encounter would change both of your lives forever. Here, let me take a look. It might just be a simple fix. As you leaned over the engine, your long brown hair falling over your shoulders, Jimin couldn't help but be captivated by you. You were so different from the women he was used to, confident yet approachable, intelligent yet humble. "Thank you, miss," he trailed off, hoping you would fill in the blank. "It's fine, and you're welcome, mister." You glanced up at him, arching an eyebrow playfully. Jimin, Park Jimin. He couldn't help but smile at her tone. "And please call me Jimin." "Alright, Jimin, now let's see what we can do about getting you back on the road." You tinkered with the engine for a few moments before standing back up, a satisfied smile on your face. "Really? That was incredible, Ryan. You must be some kind of genius." He reached into his pocket, intending to give you his card in case you needed anything else fixed, but hesitated when he saw the look on your face. "Oh no, I couldn't possibly take your card. I'm just a high school teacher." You blushed, wondering why you felt so flustered around him. "Call me when you change your mind." He winked, gave you his phone number, and getting back into his car. As he drove away, he couldn't shake the feeling that he would be seeing you again soon. As you watched Jimin drive away, you couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions. You were flattered by his attention and intrigued by his interest in your small town. But as a school teacher, you knew better than to get involved with someone like him, yet there was something about him that drew you in. You couldn't help but feel a spark of something between you both. Over the next few weeks, you found yourself thinking about Jimin more and more. You wondered if he would ever come back to town, or if your chance meeting was just a fluke. One day, as you were walking home from school, you noticed a beautiful bouquet of flowers sitting on your doorstep. Your heart skipped a beat as you recognized the distinctive logo on the card. It was from Jimin. The note inside read, "For the genius who saved my day, I hope to see you again soon, Jimin." You couldn't believe it. He had actually remembered you. As you admired the flowers, you couldn't help but feel a warm glow inside. Maybe there was something special between you both after all. Feeling more hopeful than you had in a long time, you decided to call Jimin. You picked up your phone and dialed his number, your heart racing as you waited for him to answer. "Hello," came his deep, rich voice on the other end of the line. "Jimin, it's Ryan," you said, your voice barely a whisper. There was a moment of silence, and then you heard him let out a deep breath. "Ryan, I've been waiting for your call." Your conversation continued for hours. As you both spoke, you couldn't shake the feeling that you were falling in love with him. And as much as you tried to convince yourself that it was just like a silly schoolgirl crush, you knew deep down that there was something truly special between you both. As the night wore on, you made plans to meet again soon. You couldn't believe how easily you had fallen for Jimin. Your conversation had been nothing short of magical, and you found yourself eagerly anticipating your next meeting. As you drifted off to sleep that night, you couldn't help but wonder what he would be like in person, away from the chaos of his busy life as a billionaire. You imagined him walking hand in hand with you through the quaint streets of your small town, admiring the simplicity and beauty that surrounded you both. In your dreams, you were in love, and nothing could stop you from being together. As you looked forward with anticipation to your upcoming meeting with Jimin, you couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and nervousness bubbling up inside you. You spent hours imagining what he would be like in person, trying to picture your conversations and the moments you would share together. When the day finally came, you found yourself standing outside his luxurious hotel, your heart pounding in your chest. Taking a deep breath, you walked inside, hoping that this wasn't just a silly crush and that there was something real between you both. You walked into the hotel lobby, your heels clicking against the marble floor. You took a deep breath, trying to calm the butterflies in your stomach as you looked around for Jimin. Suddenly, you saw him standing across the room, his eyes locked on yours. He was looking even more handsome, his dark hair tousled and his suit impeccable. As he walked towards you, you couldn't help but feel a rush of emotions. You sat down at a table, your hands barely touching as you talked. You couldn't believe how effortlessly you connected, as if you had known each other for your whole lives. You laughed and shared stories, your eyes never leaving each other's faces. As the night wore on, you couldn't help but feel a magnetic pull that drew you closer. Finally, as the last drops of drink disappeared from your glasses, Jimin leaned in closer, his voice low and Ryan, I've been thinking about you non-stop since we last spoke. I can't stop imagining what it would be like to kiss you. His eyes were filled with, and you felt your heart skip a beat. You looked into his eyes, your own filled with longing. Jimin, you whispered, your voice trembling. I think about you too. And with that, you leaned in. That seemed to last forever. As you both walked to his hotel room, you couldn't believe what had happened. You had kissed Jimin, and it was the most incredible moment of your life. You knew that your love was just beginning, and you couldn't wait to see where it would take you. As you reached his hotel room, your heart was racing with excitement. You were fully aware that this was a memorable evening in the making, and your excitement to discover what would unfold next was palpable. Jimin opened the door to his suite, and you stepped inside, your eyes taking in the luxurious surroundings. He closed the door behind you, and both of you stood there for a moment just looking at each other. Without another word, Jimin pulled you towards him, and you fell into each other's arms. You felt a wave of coursing through your veins as you ran. You could feel the between you both, and you knew that this was the moment. As you tore away from Jimin looked into your eyes and spoke with a voice full of longing. Wyan, I want you. Right here, right now. As the sun began to rise, you and Jimin awoke. You smiled at each other, your faces flushed from your passionate encounter. I never thought I'd be here with you, you whispered, running your fingers through his hair. Neither did I, Jimin replied, kissing your forehead. But I'm glad we are. You lay there for a while, lost in each other's eyes. You couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the turn of events that had brought you to this moment. You had always been contenting with your simple life as a school teacher, but now you felt like you were living a fairy tale. Jimin sensed your thoughts and smiled. You know why? You don't have to change who you are for me. I love you just the way you are. You looked at him, your heart swelling with love. I know, and I love you just the way you are too, but I want to see the world through your eyes. I want to experience everything that you have. He kissed you passionately. Then that's exactly what we'll do together. As your relationship progressed, you and Jimin decided it was time to introduce each other to your families. You nervously prepared yourself to meet Jimin's parents, wondering how they would react to their son's newfound love interest. When the day finally arrived, you followed Jimin to his lavish mansion, your hands shaking as you rang the doorbell. Jimin's father, a successful businessman, welcomed you with a warm smile. Wyan, it's wonderful to finally meet you. Jimin has spoken so highly of you. His mother, a beautiful woman who exuded elegance, extended her hand. Ryan, please come in. We've heard so much about you. As you sat down for dinner, you felt at ease with Jimin's family. You shared stories and laughter, and you found yourself enjoying the company of these people who meant so much to your beloved. Throughout the evening, you could feel Jimin's father giving you approving glances and his mother whispering compliments about you to their son. One year after your fairy tale wedding, you gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. As you held him in your arms, you looked up at Jimin with tears in your eyes. I can't believe we've created this little miracle together, you said, your voice filled with wonder. Jimin leaned down to kiss your forehead. I'm so proud of you, Ryan. You're an amazing mother already. He looked down at your son, his eyes filled with love and admiration. And look at our little boy. He's already lucky to have parents like us. Tears rolled down your cheeks as you looked at your family. I love you both more than words can express, you whispered, holding your son close. You remained in that moment for a little longer, captivated by the connection you shared through your gazes, grateful for the love you shared and the beautiful family you have created together. As you looked into your son's eyes, you saw a reflection of your own love story, and you knew that your journey together was only just beginning. Love knows no wealth or status. It's the heart's currency. And in their love story, the balance was true, and their family priceless.